Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your August 16th, 2023 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out more than you will ever know, getting this channel out there and seen by more people. If you're interested in a private personalized reading, a private personalized meditation, or an animal healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. If you have any trouble booking a reading, contact me through my email address, daneharttarot@gmail.com. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below, as will my website. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of. Let me just raise my mic a bit so I don't hit it again. Let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Ooh, we have two right here. Okay, this is Fayot reversed, which is Temperance reversed. We can be having a bit of difficulty with a Sagittarius energy, but we can also be having a bit of difficulty during this time with finding balance, finding harmony for ourselves. We can feel a little bit out of balance, a little bit out of whack. And because it's major arcana energy, it's going to be more intense than, just feeling just a little bit off. It's going to be much more deep inside of us, calling to a much deeper, much more spiritual side of who we are and how we're moving forward and what we're going to. And with the Nine of Pentacles, we have a tendency during this time to look towards the future and to look at the past. And we're having a really difficult time standing right here, right now, looking at what is. So be aware of that. There's a disharmony within us. It's quite deep. We can feel it and just we feel off. It's not anything really, really big. For some of us, it may be, but I'm not seeing this as being anything really big. It is something that we have to look at because as a major arcana card, it's not something passing like a minor arcana. Minor arcanas are much easier to say, okay, this is a maybe, or this can come out at different intensities. This is something small, but it sticks. This is something powerful within us that we might not even realize at this time. So just be aware of this. We can also be having a bit of difficulty looking at or thinking about the time frame of Sagittarius, which is November 26th to December 21st. There can be a lot of question marks around that time. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and Spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Ooh, again, we have two. These are both reversed. We have light and we have success. So during a new moon, to see light reversed, it kind of makes sense, right? Because it's darkness, it's going into ourselves. This is a time of going into our bodies, into ourselves, into the quote unquote underworld to be reborn. And that's what the moon is doing. And that's what we ourselves are doing. But we can find the void, the kind of nothingness, the expanse to be very overwhelming and very much question it. We can want to fill it with things, fill it with noise, fill it with events, people, ideas, and not just sit in it. Sit in the quiet. That's going to be something very difficult, but highly, highly, highly recommend. And then success. Success reversed. We're not seeing ourselves as successful. We're pushing and pushing and pushing. But during this time, and we'll talk about the astrological alignments in a bit, but during this time, our dreams and our ambition, they're not lining up. And we can feel like our ambition is taking away our dreams. So just be very mindful of this. Be very mindful that it can be holding us back, making us feel overwhelmed. And we need our dreams to come forward in order for our success to shine. So let's see what the tarot has to say before we dive into the astrology. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. That's interesting. So now we have the Nine of Cups reversed. We had the Nine of Pentacles here. 9 is a very human number. It's reminding us of our humanity. It's reminding us of the fragility of things. And we can be having a really hard time with that. Sometimes our mortality slaps us in the face and we're like, oh my gosh, how do I deal with this? And we could be having a crisis just simply of being human. So being aware of this is super, super important. We also have Strength reversed. Strength is Leo energy, right? It represents Leo in the major arcana. And Leo is where our sun and our moon fall. So this new moon is at 23 degrees of Leo. And the sun is also in Leo. We are very stubborn, but we are open to new beliefs, new ideas. We're searching during this time. We feel out of balance. We're looking for that harmony, for filling up the cups. Now, Leo brings confidence, creativity, vitality, love of life, enthusiasm. It makes us natural leaders, and it brings out the natural leader aspect of us. We want to be the heroes of our own stories. We want to shine, but there's a part of us here that kind of wants to stay in the background. We have a poverty mentality. We can be letting money slip through our fingers. We can be questioning, how do I move forward? How do I get out of this feeling of being overwhelmed, being stuck? So just be aware of this. We're going to be taught a lot. We have the Page of Wands here reversed. We're going to be taught a lot, but we're not really interested in being students right now. So it's going to be kind of unwilling learning. So just be aware of this. The new moon is a time of darkness between the lunar cycles. This is also seen as the time of the moon in the underworld, waiting to be reborn. So it is a time of death and rebirth, not a time for manifestation, okay, but a time for self-realization. And that's going to be rather difficult. There's something that we're wanting to manifest, we're wanting to push things forward, and yet this is not a time for manifestation. It's a time for seeing ourselves clearly in the silence. And we're having a bit of difficulty embracing that silence. I'm a Gemini too. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, harsh, it's just a little bit more intense of a moon than we may be used to. So just be aware of this. Now, Venus is also in the underworld. Venus rules Taurus, Venus rules Libra. So if you have strong Taurus or Libra in your chart, if you're born on the cusp with Taurus, this can come through and this can be very, very, very impactful. So just be aware of this. At the same time, it's in the underworld at the same time as our moon. With Venus conjunct the new moon and the sun, she is moving from being the evening star to transforming, being reborn as the morning star. So this is going to be a big shift. Illumination of the night, illumination of the inner self, now moving to illumination of the day, illumination of the self that we show the world. And the day, the sun, ruled by Leo, we can be finding that to be a little bit more difficult. We can find that we're more night owls, we're a little bit more nocturnal. We find the quiet of the night to be more our taste. So just be aware of that. And if you're saying, no, that's not me, I love the sun, we still have our secrets. Geminis, it's very funny. I was talking to a person once and he asked me what sign I was. And he, this is when I was younger. And I said, oh, I'm a Gemini. And he stopped and he said, oh, my ex-wife is a Gemini and my daughter is a Gemini. You guys are all secretive. And I didn't know what he meant. But now I do. It's like Geminis hold secrets to them. Geminis, it's like we've learned from having two faces, two ways of seeing things, that some things need to be kept to ourselves. And we learned that the hard way, but it is something that Geminis learn. And it's something that Geminis have in common with Scorpios, and it's another sign. Pisces also, that are kind of, they're misunderstood. They're much more complex than people think they are. So they have a hard time with them. So there's a T-square of Pluto and the lunar nodes. There we go. This brings fear versus love forward. This brings victim versus creator forward. And we can be having a hard time saying, I'm in charge of my life. I'm moving forward in my life. I'm moving forward in what I want. But we're having a hard time really embracing where we stand, what we want, how we're moving forward in us. So being aware of that is going to be super, super, super important. The black moon Lilith is at 24 degrees of Leo. This could be also giving us a bit of a difficult time, just because Leo is it's not a harmonizing energy for us during this time. Be aware of this. So this is linked to the new moon, and black moon Lilith at 24 degrees Leo is linked to the new moon, symbolizing the wild, instinctive feminine coming forward. Venus conjunct the moon and the black moon Lilith bring this rebellious energy. Okay, well, Venus is conjunct the new moon, right? And the black moon Lilith, which is 24 degrees of Leo, right? This brings rebellious energy, especially around love, especially around what we love. We can find that maybe we resent a little bit of what we love, what we desire. We can see it more as a hindrance than as a blessing. So just be aware of this. Uranus is squared the sun and the moon. Individuality, speaking our truth, being brave, fully being ourselves is what comes forward with Uranus. Uranus is the unyielding sword of truth. Now, Jupiter is trine Mercury. We're ruled by Mercury. So whenever Mercury shows up, it's kind of like a flashing sign for us. Pay attention. This is big ideas, and this is expanding the mind. And this is going to be frustrating for us because we have these big ideas, we have this expansion of the mind, and yet we feel like a pauper, okay? We don't feel successful. We feel like we're running uphill, and like Sisyphus, right? Doomed for eternity to push a boulder up a hill just to get it up the hill to have it fall back down again in Greek myth. So that's what we feel like. We feel like we're pushing this unbearable weight forward just to have to start all over again the next day or the next hour, the next minute, depending on our temperament, depending on where we are in our journey. Mars is conjunct Mercury, okay, another big one for us. This is very good. It makes us very good at being practical. It makes us very good at looking at our health. Our health can become overwhelmingly our concern during this time. So just be aware of this. We can want to get everything checked. We can become very health conscious, diets and exercise. Just make sure we don't overdo it because we'll have a tendency to, because this is like something we can lash onto and do quite well. Mars is opposing Mercury, okay? No, Mars is opposing Neptune. I just see this as a red flag for us with the cards coming up and the energy coming forward. So this is very much a red flag. Mars is all about goals. It's all about attaining our goals. Neptune is all about our dreams. Our dreams aren't connecting with our goals. Our goals have lost the beauty of our dreams. We lost the beauty of the insight that we once had. So be aware of this during this time. Get the passion back to our achievements, to what we can do, to our success. Now, the sun, the moon, and Venus are close to the royal star Regulus. Now, Regulus is at the heart of Leo. So the heart comes through again. It's urging us to come back to our hearts. There's something here where I don't trust what I love, even though I'm moving forward. I want to move forward. I want to go after with the Knight of Cups, but I don't trust what I love. I'm not trusting my heart right now, or my heart feels too invested in everything, and the world is just a little bit too real, a little bit too harsh. So be aware of this. Venus, as she rises as the morning star, is right by Hydra. Now, this is the serpent, signifying the sacred feminine, who is also coming out of the underworld, also being awakened. So there is the sense here as love is being reborn into a new position in the sky. Our connection with the sacred feminine is also being reborn. Saturn is in the stars of Aquarius. Okay, this is a big deal because Aquarius is the water bearer, pouring living waters, pouring life waters, pouring wisdom waters onto the earth. And Saturn is really reminding us that we are energetic beings. And this right now, Gemini, is going to be really, really important for us. We are energetic beings. And here our energy is a little bit out of focus. So being aware of this, sitting in meditation, sitting with vibrational energy, okay, a singing bowl, a tuning fork, even just listening to music, that's going to be so important for you. So, so, so important for you. Uranus and Jupiter are squaring the new moon and Venus. This is close to the head of Cetus, the whale. Now, Cetus reminds us of the wisdoms of the deep waters. These are the sacred healing waters of the universe, the sacred healing waters of our world. And this is also the sacred feminine's link that holds the waters in our body. So this is going to be a very powerful time, a very intense time. But this is a time where we kind of start off at a disadvantage with the Five of Pentacles, feeling like, I can't. I'm overwhelmed. I can't move forward. What's really interesting is I see a lot of success coming your way, a lot of opportunities knocking. And yet there's a sense of like, did you not hear I'm overwhelmed? Like, did you not hear? I really want this, but I've lost the spark. I've lost the passion. I don't know if I can do this. It is better to hide away. That's going to be what we're fighting against during this time. It is better to hide away. What they said was right. I'm not worthy of success, of love, of bounty, of abundance. It's better to hide away. This is money, or what we value as much as money. This is what's sacred in our lives. We're looking at it and thinking, well, I'm not really good at this. And what's so interesting is that if you ask anybody in your realm of existence, if you are worthy of this, if you are good at this, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, Gemini, you've got this. You're amazing. We don't see it. Be aware of that. We don't see it. And we're going to be our own worst enemy. It's like the shadows are coming up and trying to strangle us. It's just an energy we have to deal with. It's like, okay, I'm not worth this. I'm highly successful, highly prosperous, highly powerful in my own being and in myself. The Knight of Cups, especially with the energy of Venus being in the underworld, right? The Knight of Cups has us moving forward in love, but has us looking backwards. Am I doing the right thing? Am I moving forward the right way? Do I know what I love? Do I know what I need? We're constantly questioning ourselves and looking at the past and saying, but I made a mistake. But I made a mistake. It's like, yeah, of course you made a mistake. You're human. That's what we're having a bit of difficulty with, right? The 9 reversed. We're having difficulty being human. And I think that's all of existence, right? We always have difficulty being human because it's the only thing that we are. And yet we're always questioning ourselves. We're questioning others. We're looking, we're seeking. Here, it's time to move forward in love. And I guess what the cards are kind of asking us, or double dog daring us, is, can I move forward in love? Can I move forward in my heart and what I desire and what I want and what I need and what I cherish in my life? Because we're going to find ourselves losing our temper. We have a tendency during this time, and we'll see it. Our temper can be thin, right? It can be for any reason. It doesn't have to be that, oh my gosh, we're just losing our temper. We can have really good reasons for our temper being thin, but just be mindful of it. It's like, okay, listen, I'm tired. When I'm tired, I'm cranky. I find when I'm tired, I'm kind of like a toddler. I'm just like, I'm cranky. I don't want to do this anymore. And I throw tantrums like a toddler, which isn't helpful at all. So being aware of things like that, it's like, okay, I need to take care of me, or I need to know that today, a little bit more fragile, a little bit more overwhelmed, it's easier to be overwhelmed. And this is going to be a few days before the new moon and, after the new moon. And it can last. This time can last from new moon to new moon. This is a very, very powerful lunar time. We have the full moon on the 1st. We have the new moon on the 16th. We have this is a full supermoon on the 1st of August. And then we have another full supermoon, also a blue moon, on the 31st of August. But our strength is we're looking at things and we're saying, you know what, people got to where they need to be because they were strong. They were like bulldozers. They were tenacious and just dogged, and they did it. And we're going to see ourselves as gentler. And so we're going to see ourselves as weaker. Or we're going to think, I have to be like that in order to be successful. And Spirit's like, no, you don't. You have to be like you. Let yourself shine. Let your own blessings, let your own graces shine forward. We're moving forward. We definitely are. But with the 6 of Swords, we're very uncertain. It just feels like there's a huge question mark in our future. The huge question mark of how we're moving forward, where we're moving forward, why we're moving forward, what we're getting to, what we want, what we need. And there can even be a bit of a pause. Like, okay, but let me reevaluate. Let me look at this differently. And that's going to be a big deal. With the Page of Wands, this is a time that's going to teach us a heck of a lot. We're not going to think that when we're in it. We're going to think, okay, well, you know what? That was great. Don't want to do it again. That's going to be our mindset. And we definitely don't want to be students. We want to be moving forward. We want to be going after what we desire, but we definitely don't want to be students. It's like, I've had enough of that. I've had enough of learning. Now it's the time for success, prosperity, because that's what we're fighting with the most. And Spirit is going to show us here that as we look back, we're going to be learning a heck of a lot. We're going to look at things and be like, oh, okay. Because with Strength reversed, we're falling into fear. And we're going to find out as we kind of put the brakes on that and we look at our anger, we look at our frustration. It's like, oh, this is all fear-based. This is pancreas energy, right? This is, what is it? Solar plexus energy here, where it's like, I feel it in my gut. And it's interesting because in Qigong, the pancreas is the stomach. So the fear goes to the pancreas and we feel it in our gut. Like we can have upset tummies, right? Kind of thing. So just be aware of this. Be aware of being very conscious of how you're nourishing your body. Your body is going to need a little bit more care, Again, make sure you're sleeping well. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. With the Knight of Wands reversed, we're going to be learning a heck of a lot. This is tapping into our heart energy, which for one reason or another, we're afraid of tapping into. We're afraid of truly connecting with what we love. Because again, the human experience is love and loss. No matter how much we love something, no matter how long we're with something, we will always lose. And that, I know that isn't a really, really shoring thing to say, but it's a very honest thing to say. There's always loss in love. Even if we have a love story to the end of our time, there's still loss there. And so this is embracing the heart. It's realizing, Gemini, that our hearts are a heck of a lot stronger. And because we are the twins, there's two of us. We know deep down in our soul a deep committed bond. We're born with that knowledge. We share that with the world. That's why we also flits. It's like, you know what, this is not right for me. I'm moving on. You know what, this doesn't work for me. I'm moving on. We're very aware of this energy. And it's like, okay, it's time to move on, type of thing. So just be aware of this. The heart energy in the chakras, green. In Qigong, it's liver energy. And that's where a lot of anger is held. Our temper tends to be a little bit more at the surface. That's because we are afraid. Our liver energy is our fear manifesting into anger. This is not a time for manifesting, right? This is a time for self-realization. And it's like, oh, my fear is becoming my anger, which is holding me back, which is like an anchor around me. As we're learning how to let go of that, because again, we're excellent students, even though we are unwilling students, it moves us to the Nine of Cups. We're afraid. We're not in the present. We're in the past. We're in the future. We're not in now. Now, we can be having difficulty with the Leo energy. We can be having difficulty with an immature fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We can be wanting to move forward in the heart, but also having somebody who is a water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, moving forward at tremendous speed, but looking backwards instead of looking forward. So they're not seeing the destruction that they're doing. So that's another way of looking at these cards, because this is a general reading. Spirit's like, bring that forward, Dane. So I will most definitely. And we can be just discouraged. It's like, well, it's not like it once was. And it's not like the future I'm imagining. What is this? What is this mess? And why is nobody coming to the table to share it with me? Helping me bear these burdens? Because sometimes, and that's where we're kind of out of harmony with ourselves, the healing waters where Saturn is in, Saturn is in Aquarius energy, the water bearer, pouring the waters of life and of wisdom and of, being down onto this earth, telling us that we are energetic beings. We're like, but my energy is sapped. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much to feel. So just be aware of this. But showing up to the table, celebrating ourselves, saying, good job, well done, being kind to ourselves as we move forward, that's going to be super, super, super important. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Yeah, fear. Leo brings fear. Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly. Guide this reading and show us clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. No. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. You're holding your breath. You're holding your breath. There's something here that's happening. And it's like you're going to hold your breath till this passes. And it's happening around the new moon, which is on the 16th, right? It doesn't have to be on the 16th. It can be give or take. I'm seeing like 10 days. Okay. So just be aware of that. But there's also a sense here of like there's something that's happening that as you move forward, it's going to change things. And you're going to be like, okay. And you didn't realize it's almost very subconscious how much fear, how much doubt, how much chaos is involved. Self-reflection is reversed. And don't let pride get in the way is also reversed. Our ego is really coming forward during this time. And that's not a bad thing. Again, it's a very human thing, but we're struggling with being human right now. And that is also a very human thing. This is a time to look at ourselves and say, listen, I'm not in control of things. Let go and let God. Let go and bring it to the universe. Center ourselves. Meditation can be really, really, really important for us during this time, and yet is going to be the thing that we think, I don't have time for this. I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. Stop with the nonsense type of thing. So just know that to kind of guide yourself towards quieter things. We might not want to sit and meditate. We might not want to do a lesson of Qigong. We might not want to, Tai Chi or, whatever it is that we do that calms us, that centers us, yoga, Pilates. But we're going to need it. We're going to need just that slow movement to center the body and to move us forward. The pride is getting in the way. Actually, don't let pride get in the way. It's reversed. Upright. Okay, upright. It's a warning of like, let pride get in the way. But reversed, it's like, I'm not letting pride get in the way, but I'm overwhelmed. But I do see pride coming in, the ego coming in, the fear coming in, the what ifs and the maybes and the coming in. But it can't be that somebody else's ego is shadowing this time. So just be aware of this. Self-love, self-reflection, self-identification. This is a time of moving inward, and yet we are going to find that to be one of the most difficult things. Have faith in your dreams. This is reverse. We don't have faith in our dreams. This is a time of beginnings, and yet we're not seeing that door open. We're busy, charging forward on the horse. If you ever rode a horse, you have to look forward at what that horse is doing, because that horse has a mind of its own. So here, it's like, look at where your horse is going. Look at where you're going. Even if you're overwhelmed and you're like, oh, wait, what just happened back there? Let it go. It's done. New beginnings are coming, but we're having a bit of difficulty with the opening of this moon, with the silence, the rebirth, the understanding that moves us. We need to have faith in our dreams, and yet we're finding it difficult, challenging, overwhelming to have faith in ourselves, to see ourselves without doubt. Step out of your comfort zone. We don't want to. We would like to keep everything comfortable and safe and quiet and a little bit small, because there's a lot of fear here, and we want to hide deep in ourselves. This Leo time, this releasing, is a time of releasing of fear, if we can. But it's very powerful and it's very overwhelming. It brings us then to show the world the real you. That's what we need to do. We're finding it hard to surrender, but we are moving forward. We don't think we are. We're questioning our knowledge. We're questioning our wisdom. We're questioning where we need to be. We're not moving as quickly as we would like to, but there's a sense of, okay, now we need to go. Now it's time to start. The surrender is a huge thing. We need to show the world the real you, and we're stepping into ourselves more and more. But I think what Spirit is trying to say here also, and not what I think, but what Spirit is saying to me right now, is that we need to show us the real us. Show yourself, Gemini, the real you. Let yourself shine. It's time to breathe out. We're holding our breath, because we don't believe things are blossoming, but yet things are blossoming. Things are moving forward, but we're holding our breath and we're overwhelmed. The end of a tough cycle approaches. After all of this, after we think nobody's coming to the table to celebrate, it's kind of like when you think everybody forgot your birthday, right? And then they throw you a surprise party. That's this energy that's here. It's kind of like, man, this stinks. We're all upset. We're all overwhelmed. And it's like, oh, there's a surprise party when you're coming home. So just be aware of this. Just be aware of this. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It does. It brings peace. It brings harmony. It grounds you again. We don't think a wish is being granted. We just don't. We're like, oh, man. And yet we find that it is. And that's going to be a very, very powerful thing. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Prince of Pentacles. Lies around money. Okay? Somebody being rather sneaky. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But somebody being sneaky around money. Our subconscious spirit energy is prosperity. Subconsciously, Spirit is telling us we are prosperous, we are bountiful, let it shine. Let you shine, even though we don't see it that way. Our subconscious tarot message is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords reversed, which is beautiful. This is an intense time, but subconsciously, heartbreak, pain, disappointment in the threes could be from three people, three situations, three things in the past, three things in the present, three things as we're looking at the future being released. We're releasing a pain that has brought us to our knees, that has overwhelmed us and defined us and strangled us and just kept us from where we want to be. It has broken our hearts. And now it doesn't have that power to anymore. And it brings us to our subconscious. Moon message. This isn't a time of purity. This isn't a time of, just being hopeful and grateful and happy and, everything's beautiful and wonderful. It's not. It's a bit of a messy time. And we don't want to be bold and make the first move. We need to sit in ourselves and see ourselves and then discover how we need to move forward. But I would definitely wait to the 17th, 18th, as the moon is reborn, to look at that light, to have that energy shine down on us and be like, okay, and how do I move forward now? What do I need? And wait for the answers to come. This is a time where it's really cool because the moon can speak to you if you listen. All right. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves, of this new moon and ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed moon. Bye.